I'm Tamara Brown in the Mountain West Network studio. I'm joined by some special guests from Utah State basketball, head coach Craig Smith and junior guard Sam Merrill. Coach, your team was picked 9th in the preseason. You've really shocked the world with this team. Are you surprised with the way your team is playing?
Not really. You know, we have great leadership in our program. Sam's, obviously, his accolades speak for themselves, and Quinn Taylor, one of our seniors, Dwayne Brown Jr., one of our seniors. Those three guys especially have really taken the bull by the horns, so to speak. They had very high expectations for themselves, and certainly, you know, polls don't mean anything in terms of where you're going to end up. I've been on teams that have been picked last and finished first, and so on and so forth. And so, but they do show you the level of respect that you've earned, and that's where we stood. And our goal from day one was to get to the NCAA tournament and win when we get there. And we got a lot of work to do. You know, there's plenty of season left to go, but we're excited where we're heading.
Sam, playing for a coach like Craig Smith, what has that been like being under such an energetic staff?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely felt that from day one. As soon as Coach Smith got here, we could feel, you know, everyone talks about how energetic he is and how much he likes to talk and yell and all that stuff, and that's true. But you know, I could feel his passion and his desire to win, and from day one, from our first team meeting and from my first individual meeting with him. And beyond all that, he has great smarts, and he understands how to work with players and how to motivate players. And every practice that we have, every shoot around that we have, every workout that we have is done with a lot of energy and is done with a lot of passion, and that has translated to the court so far.
Did you feel like you had some big shoes to fill, and how did you fill those shoes with this team losing Kobe McKuen earlier this season? Yeah,
I mean, we obviously lost multiple players from last year, a couple seniors, a couple guys decided to transfer, so you know, there were only a few of us that came back this last year that had played last year, that had played meaningful minutes, and all four of us, me, Quinn Taylor, Dwayne Brown, and Diogo, we all felt that need to be good leaders and to help our new players and our inexperienced players kind of learn the ropes and learn how things were to go. Personally, you know, I just felt that right when Coach Smith got here and right when he introduced our system, I didn't feel like I would have to do too much, because it's a very team-oriented system, and it's a system that predicates on passing the ball, on sharing the ball, and doing things as a team. So that's how it's been so far.
You average more than 20 points a game, which is the first time a Utah State player has done that in over a decade. What do you think has led to your success?
I think, you know, like I said, we just have a system that revolves around doing things the right way. I've put in a lot of work, and I think that reflects in the way that I play. But, you know, more than anything, we have a team that cares about each other. And I may average 20 a game, but I think we've had 6 guys lead us in scoring in 6 different games. So it's not just about me, it's about, you know, finding the open man and working together as a team, and that's what's made us so successful this year.
Coach, how have you developed that culture of sharing the basketball on this team?
Well, it's our style of play, and certainly when you're experienced guys, you're veteran guys, you have a guy like Sam that, like we just talked about, is averaging 20 a game, and Sam can really score it. He can shoot it, he's got a great pull-up, can get to the rim, gets fouled. At the same time, I think his best attribute, besides his competitive spirit, he's a very good passer. His vision is incredible, and more than that, he's a willing passer. And so we've had a couple games this year where 2 to 3 guys running to Sam, and he makes the right play. When you play with a guy like Sam, he gives confidence to everybody else that goes with him. And so certainly when you have great leadership at the top, and your best players are all about winning, then that translates to everybody else. And so Sam hates to lose. I mean, absolutely despises it. And so when you have that it's easy to help foster that type of environment. And these guys were hungry. I mean, there's been a lot of ups and downs, you know, through the past, and these guys were very committed. So when your best players and your upperclassmen are committed to winning, you know, usually everything falls in line.
Would you say that this has helped your freshman center, Niamish Keita, in his development so far this season?
Well, I think that's the exciting part. When you look at our program, coming into the year, we only had 4 guys that had ever averaged over 7 minutes a game in Division I basketball. And that was, of course, Sam Merrill, Quinn Taylor, Dwayne Brown, and Diogo Brito. And then we had 2 other guys that averaged 7 minutes a game, but they didn't play in every game. So we didn't know exactly what to expect. We knew we were going to lean on our returning guys in a major way. And that's the beauty of our leaders is we're all in this together. Our chemistry is very good. Our ability to work hard, you know, defensively, we've talked a lot about offense, but we were at the bottom of almost every category defensively in the Mountain West last year. And now we're one of the top teams in the country in a lot of defensive categories, defensive 2-point field goal defense, rebounding, those types of things. And so guys are really committed to it. I would say our upperclassmen have been incredible leaders for our 6 freshmen, right? We're dressed in 12, 6 are freshmen. And so to be rocks for our team and put your arms around them, early on in the year, we were really leaning on Sam. And Sam, you know, knew we needed help. And so he was always making that extra pass to Brock Miller to help him get going, or to trust Nimi in the post. And one thing with Nemias is he's a very good passer. And so he makes a lot of plays for other guys simpler, so to speak. And so it's really been, you know, it's not kumbaya and it's not always a utopia, but it's been an incredible group to coach. And like I said, when you have great players that are willing to work hard, the sky's the limit.
How were you able to get a guy like Nemias from Portugal to come play for you?
Well, I mean, we got hired obviously basically the 1st of April, and we knew we had to get some pieces to the puzzle, so to speak. We really liked our core. We certainly lacked some size, and just like any recruiting process, it's a system of connections and networks, and you know, you're in this business long enough, you know, I like to think we built a good reputation, and certainly Utah State men's basketball has a very good reputation in our university as a whole, and with a rich tradition of excellence. So, you know, you add all that together and you find a young man from Portugal, and we have Diogo Brito, who's from Portugal, and I think that helped certainly with those 2 start talking in Portuguese, and we're all kind of looking at each other like, what are they saying right now, you know? And so so that definitely helped. But we have, you know, there's 4 Division I players in men's basketball from Portugal, and we got half of them. So it's been a pretty good combination for the Aggies.
He's a strong candidate for Mountain West Freshman of the Year. Does this surprise you at all?
No, I mean, nothing surprises me with Nemias. He's a very intelligent player. He knows how to play. He's tough-minded. He's very unselfish. Like, he's a guy that wants to be coached, and he wants to accept coaching from his teammates. You know, I asked him one time right after Christmas, like, who do you like playing with? And he's like, Coach, I love playing with everybody. And I'm like, okay, Nemi, I know you do, but who do you, and you know, and he specifically brought up Quinn. And of course, those 2 are 2 big guys. They're always together. And Quinn's just been really a big brother to him, helping him on the floor. You know, if Nemi it's a long year for those freshmen. He'll just put his arm around them sometimes. And so it's been good. And then you get a guy like Sam and Diogo that are very unselfish and give him the ball, but talk to him. And that helps him out in a major way. And I think he can help them out too. I remember the first day of practice, Sam was on the same team as Nemi, and they're sitting there talking. And Nemi's like, Sam, don't worry about it. I got the paint. And so, and he's been a big time enforcer, obviously, for us on the defensive end.
Sam, you guys have ignited your 6th man. Talk about what it's been like to be so dominant at home this year.
Yeah, we've obviously had a pretty good record at home this year. You know, we feel so comfortable at home like most teams do, but we feel something extra there, something special there. You know, obviously we have a big student section, one of the bigger ones in the conference and even in the country. And you know, when they come out in full force, it's, you know, I can feel how daunting it is on the other teams, and the rest of our crowd is great as well. So we still have work to do to get the Spectrum back to where most people know it can be, but I think we've made good strides this year and we're on the right track.
Coach, what are your thoughts on the 6th man?
Well, you know, that's what initially attracted me to the job, quite frankly, is when I was an assistant at Colorado State, and we weren't in the league yet, but common opponents had played in the Spectrum, and you know, you get hired and all you hear about is the Spectrum magic, and it truly is magical, and it's hard to quantify it or describe it until you feel it. And even our first game, my first game, Sam's obviously the Grizzly vet, being here for 3 years, but we were playing Hartford, and it became really clear right away that for our play calls and what have you, we were going to have hand signals for everything, because it gets so daunting and incredibly loud in that facility. And there is a special feel and a unique feel to it, and the support is really good right now. We know it can always be more, but I'm a history guy, so where you were, where you are, and where we're going, and I love the trajectory that we're on at this time.
Speaking of the trajectory that you're on, with the Mountain West Tournament, conference tournament approaching, what is it going to be like for your group in this 3-day battle chasing this potential at-large bid?
What's going to be exciting? A lot of people say, is there pressure? Is there this? And pressure is a privilege. And our guys have put themselves in a great position, have earned that right to go out there and fight and compete. And it's been really fun to see the growth. It's been really rewarding to see the growth of our team from, hoping, last year we'd won 2 games on the road, and up to this point we're doing very well that way. But in hostile environments and in tough environments, which the Mountain West Tournament's going to be, and in an exciting environment in March Madness. But we know the Mountain West is a great league. There's some storied programs in our league, including Utah State. And so when we go down there, we're going to approach it like you got to win 3 games in 3 days, or 4 games in 4 days, depending on where we end up that way. But it's not any different than any other game in terms of playing with poise and confidence, doing our deal, right, playing our brand of basketball, and let the chips fall where they may.
Coach Smith, Sam Merrill, thank you so much for your time. For the Mountain West Network, I'm Tamara Brown.